Hey you guys. So, if you have grown up in a home where you were emotionally neglected, this video is for you because often as adults, right, we may find ourselves in relationships where our partners are emotionally unavailable, or we end up with people who can be labeled as narcissists or who have narcissistic behavior. This is really, I feel, a foundation for domestic violence. At least in my experience, it has been. I've been in relationships that you could say are labeled domestic violence since I was 19. And I had to do the inner work to realize the origin of patterns, because there was a psychology there that continued enabling me to operate in a way and vibrate with things that were could be labeled as toxic. So if you find yourself in a position of maybe you've done the work in yourself, like me, you've also uncovered those patterns in your mind and like in physical behaviors, and when you still go around family members or even maybe coworkers, people where you see those behaviors now and those traits and as clear as day, and there's no accountability, there's no remorse, there's no awareness, right? It seems like there's a lack of an awareness of not only of how their actions impacted you, but of wanting to be accountable. um, that right there, I think, is a sign of covert narcissism, right? From the outside, people can look very nice and but there's something in you that feels like something is off. But for the sake of this channel, like, so we're doing the work to get beyond labels, right? To get to that place in our bodies where that trauma is removed. And so in order to remove that trauma, we have to get beyond labels and dissolve the narrative that is stored in our body. So it's it's challenging. It can be very challenging. This is a work that is not meant for the faint of heart. And I'm sharing this video because I've had a really hard day today. There was a moment with someone in my family who I was kind of appalled at the behavior. I was appalled that someone could think that that's okay. I was appalled that even when I told her it bothered me, that there's no apology. It's like there are these codes that you would think this is considerate, this is caring. And when those codes aren't being honored, it's it especially when you had to teach yourself that, it really makes you, it can be hard not to pass judgment on people when they're not operating in consideration, care, and respect for others, right? So I know I shared a video already about how to harmonize passive aggressive behaviors, and essentially the process is the same. But if you're in a spot and you're like really feeling everything heavily, I just want to encourage you that I just want to encourage you. That's all. I just wanted to hop on and encourage you if you've been in a situation like me, if you've grown up with being emotionally neglected, if you've continued perpetuating that in relationships, and if you're doing the work to free yourself of that, like, thank you. Thank you. Keep acknowledging yourself. Keep telling yourself that you're proud of yourself. Keep being enough for yourself, because right now you're building your inner world so strong, where you're never ever going to need validation or anything from anyone again. You're becoming completely self sufficient, and you're building your connection to source when you do this work. So continue putting your hand on your heart and feeding your heart, especially because I've noticed the heart chakra can get so weakened if we're not building it up. We have to build it up. We have to build that emotional body up. We have to um, talk to that little child and cheer them on and feel that emotional support for ourselves. Create a space inside ourselves that is soft and gentle, especially when we haven't received that and we don't receive that from family members. And if you haven't received that from family members, it's a lot more difficult. Life can feel a lot more difficult. Everything can feel a lot more difficult. But I just hope you'll allow yourself to feel that softness and to be gentle with yourself. And if you feel like you're trying to force anything in life or force anyone to treat you a certain way, soften instead. And don't do that. Instead, soften and be gentle. I think that's really it. I just wanted to encourage you and, thank you for being on this journey with me. I really appreciate it. And again, this is the way of the warrior for a reason. It's when we're choosing to face every single trigger and every single trauma and release it and transmute it to compassion and love. That takes immense strength to do that. So thank you. Thank you for choosing to be strong, not in a way of resistance, but in a way of surrendering and of being the change you want to see in the world. And that always, always starts in the home. I appreciate you watching.